Welcome back to WC Bricks, building the Batcave in Lego. And in this episode, what we're going to concentrate on doing is the turntable on here. So we're going to be using the size of this Batmobile to gauge how big it needs to be, because when we do the custom one, it's going to be a little bit smaller than that, so we know that it's definitely going to fit on there. One thing that I hadn't taken into account was sort of like how it's going to turn around. It would have been nice to have some sort of like mechanics for it to rotate rather than me just spinning around with a finger. But as you can see, the water level is right on the base plate, so we can't go underneath, and all the way at the back is all filled in, so we can't do that either. One option I could do is I could build an archway in the rock work there, and then the axle comes through, and we'll put some cogs under there and turn it. So we'll consider that, because I am going to be having a rock pillar coming up here, so it wouldn't be too hard to put the archway in, and it might also make it a little bit more stable as well. But we'll have a look at the options there. I need to keep the water there because you're going to be able to get into the boat from over here, so we need to make sure that the boat can get through. So what we need to do is start building on that, and also what I want to do is put some stairs coming down here. We were previously going to be using this piece here, which is the same as what's there. However, I think it will look better if we have more of a natural effect on the rock work, so we're going to actually make that on there. And just checking in with the latest update here. We've built the rock work out of the side here. Now this is the pillar that's going to go all the way up, that's going to help support the roof. And we're going to build the rock work across here. It's not going to go all the way up, it's just going to be a couple of bricks in height across there, just so it's big enough so I can stick a Technic axle through, and there'll be cogs on here which will enable the turntable to turn. And I'll put a steering wheel on the outside of the wall here, so when you turn that will turn the turntable and rotate the Batmobile round. And we built a bit more of the rock work up here, and we've gone right the way across with the brickwork. And there's the Technic brick just here, and that's where the axle is going to go through, and obviously pops out the other side, and that will turn the cogs. What we'll do is we'll put some wedge plates along these snot bricks here, and then we'll put some more of the slopes on their side, just to give it a little bit more definition on the rock work. And again, here is an example of what it will look like. It'll be something similar to that. We started to build this up a little bit higher here, and just to show you from the other side, and we need to make sure that this is really strong, because it's going to need to take the weight of the roof. So although it's starting to come back in, we need to make sure that it doesn't come in any further, so we need to put some inverted slopes to take it back out to keep the structural side of it strong on there. But yeah, pleased with how that's come along so far. I think we'll hold fire building any more until we've actually got the cogs, because obviously I need to make sure that I do the design of that bit correctly. I don't want to build a load of rock work up and then discover that the cogs need to be in a certain place and have to rip it all down again. We've done enough of that with this mock. So yeah, let's carry on doing some other part of the cave, and we'll come back to that once we've got the Technic parts. Here we have the stairs all built around now, so the rock work goes all the way around it. Not 100% happy with it. I'm wondering whether I should have used the masonry bricks in places, like just inside of here. It looks way too smooth for the rock features. Quite pleased with that section there. It's really difficult to get it exactly how I want it. It looks very square in places, as you can see zigzags there. So I think what I'm going to do is have a think about it overnight and knock it down again in the morning, the rock work around it, and then we'll have another go at building it tomorrow. And another day, and we've made a little bit more progress. We've removed some of the slopes, and we've put in these slopes which have got slopes on two different sides, and it just gives it a bit more of a zagged look to it rather than like 90-degree turns all over the place. So I'm a lot happier with the look of that, and I think once I've got the finer details in, like put some tiles down, some cheese wedges and things like that, I think it's going to look a lot more polished on there. The next thing we're going to do is go over to the bridge here and get that all joined up as well. And once we've done that, I'm going to see if I have actually got any Technic parts. I come across a couple of cogs earlier on, so hopefully there will be some axles, and we might have half a chance of getting that done. So I really do want to get that turntable built in there. The first attempt at putting some detail onto the rock face on the bridge in front of the waterfall. Not 100% happy, and we'll probably have another go. I've left a gap in the middle, as you can see there, and that is purely for the bat symbol that we're going to make at some stage to go on there. I've also done the water at the bottom of the waterfall, So the waterfall section now is complete, as you can see, and we've removed a couple of the rock sections at the bottom and tiled up or put some slopes on the ones that we are keeping. And again, just a little bit of detail on there, makes it look a little bit more complete. And again, the same over that side. So from a distance, when you pan out, it is starting to look a little bit more complete. So we have made a mechanism. Whether or not it's going to work, time will tell. Very simple. We have 6 long axles and then these joiners in between to join them all together. On the end here we have the handle which will rotate it, and then on the end we just have a little cog, and it's the same as this one here, if that will focus. There we go. What will happen now is we've got this turntable here, so that rotates on there. I'm going to try and do this all one-handed. Let's just put that there. We then got a round Technic brick, so click that on there, flip it over. We then got our axle with our cog on, so we just push that through on there, so that's all joined together. And then what we do is we just place that on top of there. So now when we rotate the handle, it turns it. So all we need to do now is just build our turntable on this section here, and it should be good to go. So yeah, pleased with how that's turned out for the minimalistic collection of Technic parts we've had. I think it's worked out really well. Hopefully it will be able to take the weight of the turntable on top of there. Just by that does feel quite stiff, but I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. It's not like it's going to be in great use. It's just going to literally be used for a couple of like videos and that's it. It's all change again. As you can see, the rockwork has been built up, and what's happened is I've extended the Technic beam across there by 6 in length. We've got another 6 axle in there, and that is so it lines up with the exit to the Batcave. Previously, if the ramp was straight, it was going to be hitting that side there, so we've moved it over so it's now in line with that. And in order to do so, I thought might as well just join this whole rock section across so it's all at the same level. All we need to do now is just continue to fill this bit in here, smooth it all off with the rock work, get more of a finished look on there, and then we'll be ready for the turntable to go on the top. As you can see, it's all plated off now and ready for the finer details, which we will do once we've actually built the turntable on top of that there. So that whole circular plate that's 4x4 will rotate, and we'll have the turntable on top of that. The reason I haven't put any finer details on here is I don't know exactly how I'm going to be designing that part, and what I did want to do is for it to keep knocking onto rock, so at least by doing it this way round I'll be able to make it, then sort of like put some rock around and then just work it so it looks all tidy, and hopefully you won't even see that mechanism once it's all done. Once the turntable's been put in, we can then work out the ramps going across there, and as mentioned before, we've moved that along by 6 studs just so it's in line with the exit to the Batcave. But yeah, it's all starting to come together quite nicely. As I said, get that bit done, and then I think just concentrate on getting all of the rock work all tidied up so it all looks finished, and again all the same all the way around here up the stairs, and just so that we have one section that almost looks complete. I thought I would show you the technique that we're going to be using for the bottom of the turntable. Now this will be actually sitting on the plate that rotates, and I want to be having these on the bottom of the turntable. Now they're going to be upside down, so when you're looking from the bottom it'll be nice and smooth. So we need to get that stuck to that. So what we're going to do, we've got these bricks which have got the Technic pin putting in them, so we'll just put all of those in the 4 sides and turn them upside down, and just put a plate on each of them. These plates will change. I've just shown you that it's doing it this way just so you can see the technique that's going to be used. So then once we've got them upside down, we will just pop the curves on there like so. And there it is. So we've got the bricks on the bottom, and then that's all smooth on there. And we could potentially tile that off as long as it doesn't interfere too much with there, but which actually won't interfere, so I can actually put some tiles on. But if we now just take this over, and that pops on to there, and there we have it. As you can see, the turntable rotates quite nicely, and all we need to do now is work out exactly how big it's going to be. I'd imagine it's going to come right the way to here, and that's purely because we need to make sure that the Batmobile can sit on there and rotate clearly. I'm just going to put this on here to give you an idea of size. So if I don't put that there, this Batmobile is going to have an accident. So pop that on there, and as you can see, rotates quite nicely. The one thing that I have sort of like got a problem with is there's no garage there for him to be working on the car. So whether or not I do decide to build something out here, I don't know. But as mentioned previously, this Batmobile is a lot bigger than what we're anticipating having. So yeah, I just need to make that turntable as large as possible, because what we could possibly do then is like put some tools along the side of the turntable. And here is the turntable. I've bricked it out, plated it, made it nice and sturdy now. So all we need to do is now be able to build the platform on it. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a plate in the bottom there, and then one brick. Now I will be doing this properly later, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. We'll get it in there. And then what we do is if we put a plate, another plate in just there, as you see there's a very slight difference in the height there. But then when you put a snot brick in the centre, just there, and if we just grab another brick, that can go on there. And as you'll see, it's totally flush. So this plate is needed so it will take the weight of the platform on the top. So what I can do now is a snot technique on the platform that the Batmobile will now sit on. So let's get to it and see what we can create. And here it is, the turntable. We've managed to get it as circular as possible on the top. We've used the snot technique, so stud snot on top, and we've also put some of the snot bricks which have got a stud on both sides, so it's helping to hold it into the bit at the bottom, but also providing a stud on the top so I can put some additional details on there, whether that be a tool rack or a computer or anything else, and also a couple in the middle there for some more details. So the Batmobile will just sit on there, and then we'll just be able to rotate it around. And that's it for this update. Reasonable amount of progress has been made. Obviously we've completely changed this section here. We've got the turntable in and rotating. We've worked on the steps coming down there, finished the bridge, and made a good start on that turntable. Just got to put the finer details into it all. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can be kept up to date with any future updates. And give us a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed what you've seen, and please share it with your family and friends. Thanks for popping on by. See you next time. Bye for now.